My name is Pieter Omvlee. I'm the founder and CEO of Sketch. And Sketch is a software product for designing digital products. And with it you can think of like apps and websites, those kind of things. The designers work with Sketch to try and create better products from concept through development and after sales as well. So we started working on Sketch because my co-founder, as a designer, had very specific needs that he was looking to get solved. All the designers back then, they were working basically in applications like Photoshop that were not really suited to their needs. So our first version of Sketch was like, well, let's just make a simple drawing tool, ideally suited for him. Once Sketch started getting popular, though, we at a certain point you realize that you're no longer making the product for your own needs, as it was in the first day, but rather for the needs of companies out there. And like we were maybe 10 people at a time, but Sketch was being used in companies that had over 100 designers, for example. And at that scale, you just run into completely different problems than what we ever encountered ourselves, because we developed the application with such a specific idea of what we wanted the application to be, just as its core principles, its core focus. I think that really helped us to say yes to certain features and no to others. Even though you're adding features that you're not the primary customer of yourself anymore, you can still stay true to that original problem that you wanted to solve. We've always been primarily focused on building the products first and foremost. We didn't create the company with the idea of actually building it out into a team of multiple people. Like if it would have forever remained 2 people, 1 designer, 1 developer, working on the application, that would have been fine. But we started growing the team as we saw the need for additional work that needed doing and that we just wouldn't have time for ourselves. So the challenge sort of has been that with growing the company, we've always sort of run a few steps behind the actual growth of the product itself. The challenge has not been so much the problems that come with scaling the company itself, but just recognizing that we were always running a few steps behind the popularity of Sketch, and we needed to grow for that reason. So we've done it always very carefully, very considered. I found it over the years that designers are a much more messy kind of person than developers. There are design teams of any scale that if you discover what their actual process is for working, like any developer would run away in absolute horror. Like all the things that are commonplace among developers, like of course you use a form of version control, and of course you have a continuous integration server running, and of course you have all of those things, and there are many large and small designer teams out there that don't use any of those things. So and there's also huge variety in how designers work together. So I think a designer workflow has to be incredibly flexible to account for all the needs, and however much or very often how little structure there is within these teams. We did indeed raise our first round of funding. We've been going at it without any external funding for the first 8 years of our existence. We didn't raise the money for the money. We wanted to work together with an experienced investor that had been there before, scaling up companies, someone that had the right contacts in the industry to help us achieve sort of the vision that we already had. I'm very excited for trying to do that vision. Like it's about having the designers collaborate better together, but also with other parts of the company. And it's more that challenge that really excites me, rather than rather than the fear of what we're now suddenly going to do. I don't think like there are going to be enormous changes where we suddenly start doing things completely different from what we are used to. But we can do more now, and that is just really exciting.